Great. Okay. Well, let's start. So, everyone, thank you so much for being here. I'm Bernardo. I'm the founder of The Best You, and today I've got the great pleasure of having a chat and presenting and interviewing and sharing some great ideas with John Lee. John is the founder of Wealth Dragons. He's been in this business for a long time. But John, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, and how you help people.
Oh, okay. So a lot of you probably may have heard of me. I wrote this book called The Wealth Dragon Way. It's a best-selling book. Or maybe you've come across me on social media. I currently have around 3 million people following me on social media: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Or maybe some of you have come across this app before called Wealth Dragons Online, where we feature people like Robin Sharma, Armin Moran. I mean, there's a lot of the big experts on here. So maybe a lot of people who are watching right now have come across me in one of those formats, or maybe they've come across me on an event. So as we spoke about before we went live, we talked about me running a lot of events. So I mainly talk about business, entrepreneurship, and really being the best version of you. And, using different technology, investing. And I also want this wealth model where we have to create passive income to get our time back. Then we have to create assets, and then the assets are what create our net worth. And the third thing is actually creating that happiness and doing things that you're passionate about. So I now fly around the world speaking in front of thousands and thousands of people. I'm going to be at the Best You Expo as well. And thank you, Bernardo, for having me on the stage there and sharing some of the sharing some of the strategies. So yeah, that's I started in business when I was 21 years old, and by the age of 27 I'd made my first million, and that was my first venture through real estate and property. But it wasn't always that easy, trying to learn this stuff yourself. And I think, Bernardo, what you're doing with the Best You magazine and also running your exhibitions and sharing with other people, giving people the opportunity to learn this stuff is truly amazing. And I wish I had something like that when I first started years ago.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think kind of there's several things I wanted to talk to you and share with you. The first thing is entrepreneurship, and what's your take? Because obviously, you've taught a lot of people how to make money in real estate, how to become entrepreneurs. So what's your thoughts on that? And what does it take, and how do people, how does one become a successful entrepreneur? What does it take?
Well, I think one of the ways you become a successful entrepreneur is that you really have to do whatever it takes. First of all, entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. And a lot of people, we've been conditioned to go to school, get a job, and work for somebody else. And as well as I do, in school, they teach you one formula. And that one formula is you have to trade time for money. And I never understood that, Bernardo, because, when you're trading time for money, you only have a fine amount hours in a day. You've only got 24 hours in a day, and in which most people, they work in a job for 8 to 10 hours a day, and they commute and they come home, and there's only so much time left. So if you want to earn more money, you have to spend more time. So if you go from working a 40-hour week to an 80-hour week, then where's your life? So I just never understood, why people do that. And so entrepreneurship, you have to kind of switch the way you think. You have to kind of get into that whole, in school, we had to get really good at studying and having exams and then getting A's, but A doesn't make you an entrepreneur. A doesn't make you, look at, Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. These are billionaires who dropped out of university. Now they went back subsequently to
Richard Branson and so many others.
Yeah, Branson and so many other people. So entrepreneurship is really about, I guess the best way to describe it is jumping off a cliff and building a plane on the way down.
I like that.
It's the best way to describe it. It really is. Like every single day, I'm very blessed. I get to wake up every day, and I get to just do what I love to do because I'm so passionate about really creating something from nothing. And actually, if you ask me where entrepreneurship lies, it's in these two things. So here we have the problems in the world, and here we have the solutions. And I think the people who are entrepreneurs are people that come up with the solutions to people's problems. And if you look at people like Uber, some guy, he didn't want to go outside because it was raining. He said, I wish I could just order a cab on here, and I wish I didn't have to take my wallet out to pay for something. And Uber's like a $50 billion company. Airbnb, Evan Spiegel with Snapchat. You know, someone was in his room and they said, oh, I want to send this picture to somebody, but I wish I could delete the picture. And he thought, wow, that's an idea. So entrepreneurship is really finding out what people's problems are and providing an efficient, and that's the key, efficient solution. And I remember about 3.5 years ago, I got to spend time with Randy Zuckerberg, who's Mark Zuckerberg's sister. And she said, John, if you want to create $1 billion company, then you have to disrupt the market. You have to do things that are different, make it efficient for people. And when you solve a problem and you have efficiency there, that's what entrepreneurship is. And we shouldn't do it for the money. We should do it for the love and our passion and purpose, and money will follow.
And what I love about the explanation you said about entrepreneurship and it is, you know, jumping from a cliff and building the plane on the way down. I love that. I'm gonna use that, John. But what I love about it is the fact that a lot of people jump down, and I will include myself because I did that for many, many years.
Yeah.
Typical man, I jumped down the hill with no instructions. So I'm building the plane with no instructions.
Right.
What a lot of people have gone through, and I think that's what happens. And obviously, kind of with time and with experience, and us having attended and many courses ourselves and read many books and seen and trained with many great people, we are now teaching other people how to hopefully have the set of instructions that can provide you, you know, certainty and security that you're going to not only build a plane, you're also going to be able to fly and go far. So that's the difference between people that understand what they need to do, which is carry on improving their skills, or those that just literally think, hey, you know what, it's either too late or I'm too old, or simply don't invest in themselves.
Yeah, yeah, and I think you've got a good point there about, you know, successful people have been through these trials and tribulations. I tell you, if I tell you all the shit that I went through in the last 10 years of trying to get to, I mean, maybe a lot of people don't know, but this year I'm planning on listing my company on the stock exchange in London, and just getting to that point, all the red tape, all the hate, all the negativity that have come from that, and trying to figure all that stuff out. And if you look at the difference between people who are successful, people who are unsuccessful, is that instruction manual that you're talking about. Because people who have jumped off the cliff and managed to build that plane actually have a specific way of doing it. And I think that's one of the great things that what you're doing at the Best You is that you're bringing all the people who have got this instruction manual or blueprint, if you will, to really give that to people. And I think, and you and I both understand, and the reason why we run events all around the world with thousands of people coming through the events is because we know that the more lives that you can impact, the more people you can help, the more money you make. And that's how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things that I was going to say that, you know, I've known and seen John. I interviewed John quite a few years ago when I think I more or less started the Best You magazine. And look, there's a lot of people in the industry. Look, these webinars are not only aimed at people that are in the world of personal professional growth. It really is aimed at anyone that is entrepreneurial, that is interested in building a brand and growing a brand. And that's something that John has done tremendously well. You know, his brand has grown, his reputation is intact, which, you know, not a lot of people can say. And not only that, as he said, his company is going to become a PLC. So, you know, that's the difference that makes a difference, is also making sure that you're congruent within what you believe in. You walk the talk, but also you provide people fantastic expertise. So, John, share, I know you shared very quickly kind of like the app and the things you do, but tell me specifically, you do loads of live events. What type of events, and what's your main thing that you do, and what is it you teach people, and how do you assist people?
Okay, there's two things that we focus on. We focus on, number one, property investment. So my business partner who wrote the book, he's the author of Property Entrepreneur. He's also going to be at the expo as well, at the Best You. So anyone who wants to learn property, make sure you see him at the expo that Bernardo's running. And people come to me for a lot about how do I build an online presence? Like how do I build a brand? Because Bernardo, you've probably done this before, and I think a lot of people watching, let's say I want to go to a restaurant. I've never been there before. So the first thing I'll do is I'll go to the internet and I'll look at some reviews, and I go to the Instagram page, look at some of the pictures, because people like to take pictures of food nowadays. So they put it on their Instagram page. And then if this steakhouse has got 10 followers and this other steakhouse has 10,000 followers. Just by the followers on how many people follow, this one, even though I've never been there before, has a higher perceived value. So there are two different types of branding you want to do. You want to do branding for awareness, and then you want to do branding for ROI. Because if you're a company, you're a coach, you're a speaker, an author, you're a business owner, you have to get your message out there. Like if you don't have a website now, like back then, you're pretty much dead. Now, if you don't have a social media presence, you're dead. Because what do people do? I remember, so my daughter just was born recently. And so I didn't know anything about prams. So first thing I did, I went to YouTube and I'm like, pram review. And all these different prams came up. And I'm like, I don't know which one's good. So I went to John Lewis and I saw this pram. And I'm like, okay, so type in the pram, have a look. And I'm doing, so I'm basing my buying decision not from the salesperson trying to sell me, but from a 3-minute video I'm watching on YouTube. It's crazy. So if you don't have brand, and another thing as well, a lot of people use Google to search for things. That's what we call search traffic. But a lot of people also search for things on YouTube. It's not for videos or funny things anymore. People actually go to YouTube to search for a problem to a solution. And so if you're in, a life coach, I go to YouTube, type in life coach, and you're not number one, then how that you're invisible. So we also have to use social media to, number one, brand. Number two, get an ROI, meaning to increase our business. And number three, to be able to generate leads and sales very quick. And so that's what a lot of people come to me for. Like if you go to YouTube, you type in business events in London, I'm on the first page of YouTube. That's why thousands of people come to my events. If you go to YouTube, type in how to invest in property, I'm number one on YouTube. You see, a lot of people get it wrong. They think, well, they should type in John Lee, but what if people don't know John Lee? And they're not going to go to YouTube and type in John Lee. They're going to type in, how to promote your business, or, passive income, or whatever it is that they're searching for. It's the term in which people are searching for is what you need to be ranked for to have a presence on a social platform. I can tell you, when I took my company from 0 to 100 grand, I wasn't doing any of this. The first time I made my first million is when I started to take my business from an offline business to an online business. And now going from, million to multi-millions is from now implementing social media. So every time I implement one of these strategies, having that online presence, online brand, online footprint is what creates that awareness and what grows your business. So that's what a lot of people come to me for.
And a lot of the courses, explain to me now, one of the things that I as I said, we were sharing here is the idea of live events. Now, I've been running events for 10 years. And one of the reasons that obviously it's so powerful is because as great as social media is, as great as obviously having that presence is essential for anyone, for a brand, having a list, marketing and being, again, congruent with what you say and what you do. Running, for me, live events is such a unique experience. I mean, I can only imagine the first event that you attended, John, when, or when I attended. I remember mine was with Bandler, and I'm standing in the middle of the room thinking, oh my God, and I was 38, and it was kind of the real first impact event that really impacted me. So what's your take on why promoting, doing these live events is so important? And I'll talk a little bit more about how John and Wealth Dragons and Best You, we're helping each other. I'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. So I think just to kind of give you a metaphor, if you gave me this book and say, hey, John, I'm going to teach you how to swim by reading this book, that's quite hard to do, because with an event, and in events, funnily enough, actually, Bernardo, doing some research on industries that are going to be up and coming, and technology is taking away a lot of businesses right now and people are losing jobs. The one thing that it will never replace is events. So that's the only industry right now that's going to carry on moving in the curve, which is kind of like, I wouldn't say recession proof, but I'm just saying that a lot of people come to events because it's a very special place. Like, transformation happens in events. I mean, I've seen it, and you've probably seen this as well. People come to your events very skeptical. They sat there with their arms crossed. They're looking, thinking, oh yeah, what you're going to teach me. And at the end, they're shaking my hand with tears in their eyes saying, thank you so much for changing my life.
Yeah.
Right. And then,
it does happen, doesn't it? I know.
right. And then the messages you get from people and, oh, John, the event that I attended, I was able to quit my job, or John, the relationship I was in, I was able to leave my relationship, or, oh, I've just had a baby. Now I can be a stay-at-home mom and have a business. And it's just so magical. And not only that, you also get to meet great people there. You get to meet people who are in the same, there's a book called Think and Grow Rich. And it talks about having this mastermind. And I think in our lives, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's very, very lonely business. Not a lot of people understand what you do. In fact, a lot of them think you're crazy. But when you come to an event, a magical thing happens. It's kind of like you go there and like everyone understands what you're trying to do. Like, oh my God, you're trying to do that as well. And wow, but you've had that as well. That's happened to you. And it creates this support group. And I can tell you, my business partner, Vincent Wong, who again is the property guy, I met him at an event. I went from buying a property every 3 months to buying a property every single week, because I believe that in events, it only takes one relationship, so one person that you meet and one deal that you do with that person that just explodes everything. And he had all the property deals. And I said, look, I'll help you do these deals on the condition I'll pay you a finder's fee. And he said, sure. Because he had his problem, he had too many deals. And so for me, I just said, look, it's a win-win situation. You give me the deals, I get deals, I pay you money. So that was a really good relationship. And that's what spurred on this whole relationship that then turned into Wealth Dragons, and now Wealth Dragons Group PLC, which is phenomenal.
A couple of things that John said there, I'm going to point out. Think and Grow Rich. I've just listened to it for the third time. It's just one of those books that, you know what, it is phenomenal the amount of people that I've met that have read that book, that it has impacted their lives tremendously. And it's amazing how many people, and I'm talking about, well, all the way up from Tony Robbins, all the way down, everyone that has listened to it. But I know people that have built careers around that book. So I've listened to it for the third time, and that was phenomenal. Some great stuff. So great recommendation there. Regarding this live thing, I experienced the same thing. I think one of the things that for me it is that I've experienced that, when I do these really big events and like the expo, and we put so much work and so much energy, and sometimes you get someone says, oh, they complain because they pay £15 or they got a free ticket. And excuse me, kind of like the amount of work that's put into this.
Oh.
But we get 99.9% of the people obviously thanking us and saying the same things. Thank you so much for putting this together. And that's why we do it. We do it because, we understand how it can create a massive impact and transformation. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're interested in, you're not necessarily in the personal development world, look, going to these events will provide you new ways of thinking. You will learn something from everyone. I've never attended any course with any speaker anywhere in the world where I haven't learned something or a number of things. So we always know how little we know. And especially, as you were pointing out as well, as an entrepreneur, that's one of the things I normally say, John, it's a very lonely place. When you're an entrepreneur, it can become a very lonely place because, yes, as they say, entrepreneurship is the only madman or mad woman that basically gives up a 40-hour job to do an 80-hour job to get paid half the time, half the amount of money, when you start. So, but that's what it is. So, we coincide on a lot of things. So one of the things I wanted to announce here today is that, obviously, as I said, I know John for quite some time, Wealth Dragons, and we've literally created a partnership. So Wealth Dragons is going to have a great, massive presence at the Best You Expo on the 15th and 16th of February. John and Vince are going to be sharing the stage. They're going to have a presence there. They're going to be talking about everything that they know and they know so well. And hey, who knows? There are going to be opportunities for you to do business with John. And that's one of the things that I really believe, and you mentioned that. The networking opportunities is what people tend to miss. So if you're thinking of speaking and exhibiting at an event, never, don't only go there with how many people am I going to meet and how much business am I going to close? It's what business can I do? Who is sitting next to me that I could be doing $1 million event with, or I could do some business with? And that's one of the fantastic things that happen with these events. And I'm very proud to announce, as I said, this partnership with Wealth Dragons and Best You, whereby John and Vince and the whole Wealth Dragons and everything that they're launching online is going to be there. We're going to be present at their events as well. We're going to be promoting a lot of the courses that he's doing. So I'm delighted about that, John, and I'm really excited to have you there at the expo, you both of you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And thanks for having us.
So what's your thoughts then regarding kind of moving forward, and what would you like kind of, or how could you help anyone that's within the Best You moving forward? I'm going to share at the end a screen. Obviously, I've got some links for some of your upcoming seminars because you've got them coming every month. I know you've got one on the 1st and 2nd of September, so I'm going to be sharing that. But what is it you could help, or how can you help the Best You community who can either meet you at one of your courses or at the expo?
Well, we run a lot of events. We run different events like on property investing, trading, entrepreneurship, online businesses, branding. So I think the best thing that people can do is, well, they can attend one of our events. We run free events all around the world in Singapore, Malaysia, Slovakia, Cyprus, Dubai, Amsterdam, and also in London. And also we'll be running them throughout the cities in the UK as well. So the best way we can really help them is if they can, I mean, I've got 3 million people following me on social media right now. I put out thousands of videos on social media. So they can go to YouTube, just type in John Lee. There's lots of videos. They can go to Instagram and just type in John Lee. Just find the one with the blue tick. That's my official account. And I've got literally, if you go onto here, there's just tons of videos and content on here. So you can go through a lot of that stuff. Again, I'm going to be at the Best You, so come meet me at the Best You. Yeah, I mean, well, we got the app. If you just download Wealth Dragons, if you're an Apple user, you can go to Wealth Dragons online on the Apple app and download the app. Or you can go to, if you're an Android user, just type in Wealth Dragons online and you can see the app there as well. So I guess that's some of the ways that we can help people in terms of learning more.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, John. Well, listen, I've already shared in the chat, and I will be sharing on the links that we will have, either the Facebook Live or the webinars. I'll be sharing also the links for John's upcoming seminar. But I'm just going to literally, with your permission, I'm going to share my screen very quickly. And that will give you an opportunity to, for any of those that want to come and attend John's event. So I'll just share my screen very quickly with permission there. Okay, cool. All right, so sharing my screen now. And yeah, for any of you that want to find out about, can you share? Oh, panelists, yes, okay, cool.
I don't think it's sharing. I can still see you.
I know.
Yeah.
Who can share? Only host. Okay.
Share.
Sorry, it's not letting me share. Advanced option.
Let me see if it's sharing. Check this.
Oh, well, panelists. Okay, hold on. Okay, I got it now.
Okay.
I'm here. Cool. All right. You guys see it? Yeah. Okay, cool. Can you see it now, John?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Cool. Perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to be sharing a specific link that we've got, but basically this is John's event coming up on the 1st and 2nd of September. It's a free event, isn't it,
yeah,
John?
It's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, we will be there too. My team are very excited to be there, and you've got obviously yourself. You've got Vince. Vince Tan. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Vince one. We've got Armin Morin, Andy Harrington, Paul Preston, and a special guest speaker. Is this still a surprise?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. You're going to keep it that way. All right, cool. Exciting. All right, great. So that's the information there. I will be sharing, as I said, that on the recording. For any of you that are interested in getting involved in the expo, well, look, the reason is that look, having run events for 10 years, what I know, if I know anything, and I've, in total around 50,000 attendees have attended the courses I've promoted, around 600 speakers, is the fact that, things are very niche. I get that everyone focuses on niche, but the reason I liked the expo and the reason I did it was because what I felt was needed was we need to join forces. When it comes down to working and running events, we need to be able to work with like-minded people and all of us together combine, inviting as many people as possible. So this is doubled in size every year. Expo 1, Expo 2, Expo 3. Last year we had 12,500 people and we had 180 speakers. So that's 10 breakout rooms, talks going out every 45 minutes. We literally cater for everyone's needs and requirements. So we obviously have We have a space for wealth. We have a space for feeling and looking good. We have a space for yoga. We have a space for health and lifestyle. We've got a fantastic networking room. We've got a room for empowering women. So there's all sorts of things going on. That's the floor plan. It's literally 7,500 square meters, full of booths, full of breakout rooms, and with great brands, great speakers, great partners like John, like Vince, Wealth Dragons, and so many others. So if any of you want to simply, take advantage of this, which means that you show up, you have a booth, you have a stand, you want to share your talk, well, we will take care of everything for you, and then we'll put all that content out there for you. But apart from that, what I have experienced, as we said before, is the opportunities that come from this. I've met many people that have spoken at my event that then have engaged with another speaker, and now they were sharing the stage with them. Who knows? You might come to the expo, you might meet John and Vince, and you might be able to not only train with him, you might be able to speak on one of his stages. If obviously, you have the profile and you can bring what he's looking for, because you're always open for that as well, aren't you, John?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. Great. Well, listen, I want to thank you all for being here today. I just really want to emphasize the fact that if you're a brand, if you're a company, if you're interested in obviously growing, the enhancing and getting involved in live events is essential. As an NLPer, I'm a modeler. I always like to learn. I always like to see what I can learn from another speaker. I like to see how other people are doing business, either social media, marketing, email marketing, whatever it is. But apart from that, I understand the importance of joining forces, partnering up with people, and working with like-minded people, because this industry that we're all in, especially the whole well-being, which means from yoga to nutrition to yoga pants to Tough Mudder and everything in between, is a $3 trillion industry. So we're into I think very exciting times in the years to come. John, anything else you would like to share with us?
No, just say you don't run these exhibitions that often, so anyone who has the opportunity to get there, I tell you, an exhibition is very different to a conference, and I think there's so much more energy at exhibitions because you get to meet so many people, and also at your exhibitions you get people who have complementary services and products as that some of you would never know about. For example, I went to one of these exhibitions. Is a chair that you can buy that rejuvenates your energy. It's crazy. And you put this thing on and it does all these funny lights. So there's just so many different things that you may or may not know about. And, if you just go away and just find one bit of advice from somebody that can make a massive impact, you only need to meet one person with the right deal. And one of the best places to do that is at Bernardo's exhibition. So make sure you go there, make sure you, make the best of it. And also make sure you go there with intention to help others. Because I think that whole law of attraction, when you go there and you're like, I want to put out good energy, you start attracting good energy into your life. And then that's how relationships happen. So thank you so much for having me on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you, John. Thanks for being here. Take care. And thank you everyone for being here today. All the best.
Bye.